we'll use one sentence for all 7 types of head. Now, in all cases, we're going to mark the nucleus on Y. So, the nice common high fall we'll begin with. So, we've got a nice common high fall on Y. And in all cases, we will have a little prehead on I. So, with this intonation pattern, got the lexical stress, of course, is on men, remember, and could on couldn't. So we've got a stress here, a stress here, and a stress here. This is the nucleus. We've got a prehead here. So what type of head have we got? I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. The intonation jumps on the stressed syllable, so in this case it will jump in the middle of the word. I couldn't remember, I couldn't remember, I could. It's like yodeling. I hope, I hope, I hope. So I couldn't remember why. Emphatic stepping head is not particularly easy for non-native speakers to produce. Can I just draw your attention to this? I wanted to explain how you notate a stepping head. And what you do is, instead of the stress mark on the other stresses other than the onset, on the subsequent stresses, instead of a little stress mark, you put another vertical mark. So that's the notation for the stepping head. So how is this going to sound? What's this going to sound like? I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. What we're looking for here is a rise. You're singing through your range to the top, dropping. So da-da-da-da-da-da. I couldn't remember why. After, when you get to about here, start to consciously bring your voice up. I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why.
Good. So this type of head is a rising head. Rising head. So we've got our stress mark and we have our little arrow pointing upwards. So hopefully, once you notate with these little marks, you've got all this information, because the non-stressed syllables follow on from the stressed ones. It's quite a clever system, really, because you have to write just a few marks on and you get all this information. Now the emphatic version of the rising head So you've now got like 2 waves of sound going up. Instead of just going in one smooth rise at the top, you do 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 do. I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. This is called a climbing head. And take this one by, instead of the stress mark, you repeat the arrow. I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why.
Good. Good. So that's the emphatic version of the rising head. That's the climbing. So the rising head is I couldn't remember why. The climbing head is I couldn't remember why. In normal speech time, because we've been doing this slowly and rhythmically. But if you just heard it spoken normally, it would be I couldn't remember why. 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 couldn't remember why. So this is the falling head with the. It doesn't normally come with a high fall. Yes, we mark the stress on remember normally, and on couldn't we'll be putting an arrow pointing down to indicate the fall. I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
That's it. I couldn't remember why. And the emphatic version of the falling head, which we notate this way, is just the reverse of what we did with the rising and climbing head. So it's I couldn't remember. So you've got two waves going downwards this time. I couldn't remember. Excuse me. I couldn't remember why. 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 So this is the sliding, so-called sliding head, and we notate this by repeating the I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
Good, okay.
I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. And this is simply called low head. I couldn't remember why. 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 So I put a low rise on here because that's by far the most probable nucleus to go with a low head. I couldn't remember why. Yes, I'm going to put the notation on there. You mark the stress in the normal way, except on the onset you put a low vertical line. I couldn't remember why. If you're putting these stress marks, they're usually put at the top. Sometimes for low heads you put it at the bottom, but it really doesn't make much difference. I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
Okay, so there's a low pre-head here, just the little I form at the beginning. So I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why. Okay, we'll try it all together. I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
Yeah, I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why.
Good, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember why.
I couldn't remember why. I couldn't remember why.
Good, okay.